Hey guys, welcome to the beta episode of the Comic Book Girl 19 show, radio show, podcast extravaganza of nonsense. It's going to be awesome. I got Captain Kirk here with me. I got T-Bone. So get ready.
Hey guys, guess what? This is the Comic Book Girl 19 podcast.
Woo!
Yay!
Comic Book Girl 19 here. Also, Captain Kirk.
Kirk. Just Kirk. Or Captain Kirk.
Either way.
Or the gay guy Kirk. Or the hipster guy Kirk. Or whatever you guys are calling
He's such a
whatever you guys are
fag
calling
with his
me
hipster mustache.
on the internet right now. Which is really funny because whenever I get called, I still add the request or I accept the friend request. Like, I don't care.
It's nothing good on them.
Alrighty, so this is going to be totally loosey-goosey, wild and crazy in 19's words. We're not even going to call this the first episode. This is just
an episode beta.
Episode beta.
The pilot.
And you're just going to kind of get a taste of everything that's going on. Like, what do you guys expect from this podcast?
I just expect to be able to talk about whatever I want to talk about, and we can just talk about it that week, and there's, like, no hiccups. We can just immediately start talking about, like, the comics we read that Wednesday, and, like...
Try to keep everyone up to date. Like, I want to
yeah.
start discussions. I want, like, comment sections to go crazy when we start posting this stuff up. I really want a forum for people to start talking.
I expect us to do everything wrong in this episode. This is our first one.
Everything will go wrong this episode. We spent the last hour trying to figure out why one of the mics wasn't working.
That's fine. That's fine. It's, we're very organic here.
And we're going to get better every single time we do it.
It will. You saw what the show's done the last year.
Yeah.
How kick-ass it's been.
You're right. Like, have you gone back and watched our first episode?
No.
I have.
It's really different.
I'm really scared to.
Yeah, you haven't watched it in
I know. I'm so fucking wasted in those earliest episodes. Like, I'm really bad.
I think the nerves definitely showed through, and you're just like, all right, let's start the second six-pack.
Yeah, that's kind of what it was like.
You've gone and become a professional speaker.
I've gotten a lot better, yes. I'm really proud of myself because it's really hard. Like
it is. A lot of people don't realize.
It's tough, man, to not say and like, and I still do it.
Anyway, and it also helps a lot when the guy who plays Robot has a cattle prod just off camera. That really kind of shapes you up really quickly.
That's right.
We've had more than a few angry discussions about I get so mean sometimes when I'm filming. I'm such a bear. It's terrible. I'm really trying to not be so bitchy. That's the thing.
All right.
That's the thing.
We need to get to the point here.
Well, okay.
See, that's why he's here, for that.
This is a hint for all you guys out there. If your girlfriend is totally being a bitch to you, if you film her being a bitch to you and then play it back to her, she will feel bad about it and probably try to stop doing that.
Yeah, you get to hear yourself a lot in the edit.
It's pretty bad. I feel really bad. One episode, I was such a cunt that I was like, oh my god, I will totally do the rough cut for you, so you don't have to see me bitching at you again, like when you're like editing all this stuff out.
And there's like a dozen like editor guys outside right now listening to this, like, holy shit, that's absolutely true. Like, how do I set up a camera and she doesn't know?
I know.
So I was hoping that this much truth wouldn't come out immediately, but it did.
Nope.
Right.
We gotta let them all know.
It's a truth zone.
So really quickly, one of the other reasons why we're doing this episode right now and happening to do it right now, and this episode's not gonna, it's kind of out of order. I think we're gonna try to do this every like Wednesday or Thursday. Mm-hmm. Let's talk about the Kickstarter.
Let's talk about the Kickstarter. Oh my god, I don't even know what to say.
I think a whole lot of fucking thank you guys.
Yeah, like for real, like thank you so much, like fucking for reals, like for real, like for real.
What were you expecting?
I don't know. I was trying not to expect anything. Is the main thing.
Mm-hmm.
I was just like, you know what? I'm just doing it, and I was so busy. Like we were so busy coming up with all this stuff that we didn't have time to think about it because we were like scrambling to get it all together. And I don't know. We're artists. We're not good at like planning stuff like this.
And so some of you are kind of like maybe not clued in just yet, and this is why we're going to pimp it out. CBG19 show is taking it to the next level. A Kickstarter was started. What was the goal?
$20,000.
And how many days?
29 days.
And then when did the Kickstarter go live?
Yesterday, Saturday, April 13th.
And when did the goal get met?
Saturday, April 13th.
One fucking day!
Man.
So it's 8 hours. Took
8 hours?
8 hours.
Is there like a Kickstarter record for this?
I don't know. I think Veronica Mars is beating all the records right
Veronica
now.
Mars destroyed all the records. They were going for like, what, 30 million, and they got 3 million in one day or something?
Yeah, it's crazy.
Uh,
but
they're still going right now, actually.
It's revolutionary.
I still need to give those guys $1 for Veronica Mars. I haven't done that yet.
Yeah.
She deserves it.
Yeah.
Oh, you guys like that show? I've never seen it.
I haven't seen the whole thing. I've seen some of it. It was fun. I can see why there's a following for it.
I mean, Kristen Stewart's
Anyway.
awesome.
Yeah.
All right.
Or Kristen
So,
Bell.
is that-
Kristen Bell.
Ooh.
What did I say?
That's Kristen Stewart.
Edit.
Stu.
I have all the edit power on this. I'm gonna fix that.
We are editing this, right?
Yes.
So what else do you need to say about the Kickstarter? What else do you think? We're going to do some stretch goals now that we've exceeded the goal.
Yeah, we're gonna do stretch goals. Our first stretch goal is $50,000, and the more money we make, like the better our show can be. Like for real, I really want to make like an amazing like Dazzler the movie, the trailer, like so bad. And like if we had like more, if we got more money and more funding, then we'd be able to do stuff like that.
You guys have been talking about doing skits.
Oh yeah, we want to do like tons of recreations. We want to recreate whole scenes from comics. I have like 2 or 3 scenes already picked out with like friends that I know that kind of like fill with characters.
And you need to know that this is being recorded in the bedroom right now, and there's a giant green screen right behind us just begging to be used.
And a skeleton.
And a skeleton.
We need to use him too.
Oh my god, look at that. I didn't even know the skeleton was back here. All right,
So if you like what we're doing and you want to see more and you want to see better stuff that's way more awesome and more Dazzler,
there you go.
then please feel free to go to our Kickstarter and donate. Any and all donations are accepted, and we are so appreciative.
And all donations go to the show, not your pink hair dye, correct?
Well, some of it's going to go to Pink Hair Dye, but it's really cheap stuff. Don't worry.
But hopefully with the Kickstarter, maybe we can start getting you Manic Panic or something.
Yeah, maybe. I'm using
Right.
Jazzing
Not the
Dimmy
stuff
Permanent.
that's giving you cancer.
I know, it's terrible. It's all from Sally Beauty Supply. It's really ghetto.
Okay, let's
So
not
that's-
reveal all our secrets.
That's the Kickstarter, guys. And honestly, thank you for everyone that contributed, because that is just a huge, giant show of support.
Oh my god, thank you.
That was awesome.
I totally cried a whole bunch yesterday when I was in my car driving around and stuff, but it wasn't in front of anybody. I was like, I didn't want to do it in front of anybody.
It was
And
just
the first thing we're going to buy is health insurance.
Is it?
yay!
I don't even think we're rich enough to buy health insurance. I still don't think we're rich enough to have health insurance. I'm like, no, you have to have millions of dollars,
No,
right?
you don't. You're not rich at all. Don't worry. That's why there was a Kickstarter.
We're not. Okay,
All right, so moving on.
Let me go ahead and announce all the topics that we're going to talk about on today's show,
Okay.
because that should go at the head of the show so that people are guided through it. All right, we're going to already talk about Kickstarter. We're done with that. Then we're going to talk about the fact that you're on Screen Addict on Tuesday and Thursdays, another show. In comics, we're going to talk about Glory, and then we're going to move on and talk about Grant Morrison and the Death of Robin, and then we're going to talk about Saga, which is very popular right now. And then finally, we're going to take your Twitter questions.
Woo! Twitter!
So start twittering.
Tweet me.
Not that this is a live recording, but it's live when we read it.
So just, yeah. So no, next time.
Figure it out.
Just send it out. Yeah, we'll figure it out.
All right, so the first one on that list is Screen Addict. What's that?
Okay, so I maybe sort of kind of have a part-time gig with Screen Addict doing some movie review stuff. So it's going to be hopefully, be doing that for the next few weeks or months. I don't know. We'll see. But it's on Tuesdays and Thursdays. And if you I know it takes us a while to get episodes out. So this way you can have a little taste of CBG
And
while you're
Screen
waiting.
Addict is where you talk about movies.
Yeah. It's all movies and stuff.
Briefly, though. It's only
It's very brief. Yeah, it's not in depth like what I normally do. But I mean, it's like, oh, here's my thoughts on the new Wolverine trailer. Real quick. So
hey, here's a teaser, and tune into the podcast next week.
yes.
Wink.
Wink.
All right, I think that takes care of it. All right.
Done.
Let's move on to comics. Some
Woo!
sound effect for comics.
Yeah, we'll do comic. We'll figure it out later. Okay, but yeah, we get to get in depth.
I know, I'm so excited.
This is gonna be awesome.
It's like I don't know, it's like our Wednesdays again,
It is.
When we used to
Actually, we'll get into that later.
yeah.
I'm gonna let you take off with Glory, because
Okay.
that is one of the best episodes, and I think a lot of the fans really liked the CBG19 episode, and you guys just gushed all about Glory.
Yes.
Let's get everyone caught up, and then you just take it. I'm gonna let you have this one.
So I'm a big fan of Glory. I did a review for it a little while ago, and ironically, I was looking on Twitter that night right after we had wrapped and saw Joe Keatinge tweeting that Glory was being canceled.
Right after the episode was done.
Right after we were done shooting. And so we broke the camera back out and tweeted some reactions to that were pretty, I really just found out.
Right, that shot of you in your underwear on the couch crying, that was real.
that was
happening live.
I was in my jammies.
You can't fake that.
And so yeah, and I just really love this comic a whole lot. It's just made right. It's just made for me. You know, it just has everything that I want in a comic. Like it's so much fun. It's colorful. I love the characters. I love the drawing. Ross Campbell. I've been following that guy's work since I was in college. I've been like looking at his artwork for a very long time because I really love the way that he draws women in so many different ways. And so, yeah, like Joe Keatinge and Ross Campbell have been really cool to me about it. They've been really excited about the episode, and according to them, they've been like, dude, it really, like, got us noticed.
Like, and even in the last issue of Glory, if you check out the letters column, there was a special thank you.
I know.
To 19 in the back.
It made me, it's like, I'm so, like, I blush, like, when I think about it.
But you made it into the final issue. You understand that
you're mentioned in a real comic.
In a real comic.
I made it. Oh. I feel like I'm at the prom and I just won prom queen and I'm just like really excited and happy.
I hope it's not
like
Carrie.
I know, but I feel like I got those roses and like the little tiara
we're all
on.
faking it.
Oh my god,
Let's not think about that.
I'm so like I'm just really excited that they're really excited that I'm really excited. You know,
that everyone got really excited.
That everyone got really excited, and like I said, they've been really really cool to me about it. And they were telling me that in the last issue, they also in the very end, Glory has a pink mohawk, and they said that was a wink towards me.
Just shut the fuck up.
Yes, and it just...
a lot of people have been asking about that.
Oh my gosh.
That pink mohawk.
Yeah, well, now you know.
That's awesome.
I know. Oh my gosh, like, I can't
I'm
even
nerding
believe
out
it.
for you.
I know. I'm such a fangirl. I can't wait to meet them. Like, I haven't been at a convention that they're at yet, so we haven't crossed paths, but I'm really looking forward to having a beer with them.
There's going to be a big, wet, sloppy cheek kiss and like a whole lot of uncomfortable, long hugging for a little bit.
That's fine.
There might even be like some crying involved with everybody. Like the first time the reunited and estranged daughter and father like meet.
It's like, oh
my god.
So let's talk about the actual story of Glory.
Mm-hmm.
How you thought it ended.
Man, Joe Keatinge was nice enough to let me see it ahead of time, and I read it on my computer. Which is, like, not something that I do for anything, but this was, like, something that I will do that for.
Because you hate ebooks.
I hate ebooks, and I totally read it, and I totally cried, and I felt very fulfilled by it. I was really glad that it ended on it ended on a good note. It was wrapped up really well. I'm sad to see it go, but I'm glad that it was ended so well, you know, and I really, like, it was good. It was such a good run, and I'm really interested to see what happens with Prophet.
Oh, the teaser in the back.
Yeah, I can't wait to hear more about that, and I will definitely keep you posted about Prophet, because seeing what they did with Glory, like, I would...
Because that's their new project, right?
Maybe, supposedly...
And Ross Campbell? Or...
I don't know if it's Joe Keatinge or...
But for people who are trying to figure out who Prophet is, and this is where I'll let my 90s comic collector shame really shine, was Image had a spin-off from, was it Youngblood? Was the super team at the time that Liefeld came up with. Mm-hmm. And they introduced a character called Prophet, who was kind of like the man at a time story.
Yeah.
And Stephen Platt was the artist. And I remember that because it was really cool because his art was like even more exaggerated than Liefeld's.
Stephen Platt was he was awesome.
He was really good.
Stephen Platt is Tyson's favorite.
Yes.
Like, for reals. Like, he's told me all about it.
You just gave Robot's name away!
Oh, it's fine.
All right, never mind.
Cat's out of the bag.
Too many cats are out of the bag in this episode. So, yes.
By the way, that was one of the bonuses for the Kickstarter after $5.
Yeah, right?
Oh, well, that one's gone. Yes, but back to Stephen Platt.
Yeah.
He was my favorite artist of all time.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe he still is. And his style was just so full of energy and excitement. And it was like combining all the 90s styles like together. And it was just the most action-packed that you possibly get. Too action-packed, in fact.
There was no, like, boring panels. Like, no panel wasted.
And he always put so much time into every shot. That's why books never came out on time. He was
Ever.
Like 3 or 4 months behind.
Yeah.
Until it was just eventually canceled, and I don't think he even works in comics right now.
Did you tell me that you showed your artwork to him once?
Yes.
At a convention?
I got to meet Stephen Platt. He's the only comic book artist I've ever met.
How'd it go? Did he like your work?
Yeah, he actually did say some really nice things, and he said work on your perspective there in that one shot.
Yeah,
and
we all need to work on our perspective.
Every single thing that he told me, I constantly think about.
So Grant Morrison is up next?
Yeah. We're going to talk about Death of Robin.
Okay.
We might have a little extra times going into this one.
Yeah. Yeah. If you want to do this separately, you can put it in
I might want to cry separately. Robin's dead.
Dude, such a bummer, man. Like, Damien was seriously, and I was just telling you guys the other day when we were filming our Death of the Family thing. I was like, Damian is just such a breath of fresh air. He's just brought so much life to the Bat family.
And we had just scratched the surface of that character and the potential that he brought to like the new family dynamics and the relationships and all the Bat comics. And then dead.
I saw someone saying online somewhere, I can't remember where, but they were saying that Damian was the type of character that made them want to become a comic book writer because they had all these ideas for stuff, like in 5 years, like what they could do with Damian.
Yeah.
You know, like he's just one of those characters that it's like, you can't wait to see what things that they do. And I mean, I felt the same way. It's like, I felt like I could write Damian, you know, it's like, I love him. He's just so awesome. And like, I'd love to see what he does when he's an adult and like what happens when he's growing up and then he's a teenager. And it's like, and then now...
Were you actually thinking about growing up a comic book character? That's unheard of in the DC universe.
I know, right? I know. But
That's
I mean, Dick Grayson did it. Maybe, you know, if anybody does it, it's the Robins.
It's the Robins. We do get to see the Robins grow up in the DC universe. Like, I mean, as bummed as I was that Tim wasn't Robin anymore, it was fun to see him actually go on and become Red Robin, even though they still desperately need to work on that costume.
Yeah.
It's crap.
No,
but
it's a little weird.
It's weird. But it is fun to watch those characters grow up and evolve.
Yeah.
And, I mean, now that even Jason Todd's back from the dead, watching him kind of, I don't know, just not be like the other Robins, but still go on and become his own man. And not everyone agrees with it, but that's the whole point.
But that's the whole thing about a family.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, not everyone in your family you're going to agree with, but you're still a family.
Right.
You know, and like, I like that aspect of Red Hood a lot.
Like, he's still, like, do we really have to invite him to dinner? All right. Like, he has family.
And then, like, he won't show up to dinner, but if you don't invite him, he'll be pissed.
He'll be really pissed.
You know?
Yeah. We all have that person in the family, too. Like, oh, all right.
But, so, I mean, okay, so I've heard rumors that Grant Morrison had this planned out a long time ago that he was going to kill Damian. Do you think he actually did, or do you think that he's just saying that now?
No. I think that the New 52 threw a huge cog in his plans, and especially for the long term of Damian. And you said it best when we were talking about it, and you said it again on the show. Morrison giveth and Morrison taketh.
Taketh away.
I think I think we were looking forward, at least I was, for 5, 10, 15 years of Dick Grayson as Batman and Damian as Robin. I was looking forward to those stories for so long.
It's such a brilliant mashup, or not mashup, but it's such a brilliant pair-up because now you have, you know, a silly Batman.
Like a one-liner Batman.
And then you have a super serious, brooding-ass Robin.
Who takes right after his dad.
Just his father's son, you know? And it's so funny. And it's like, and that's so perfect. I mean, that's the way it should be. It's like Dick Grayson, and then he's Batman now.
But it was like it was a breath of fresh air.
Yeah.
And especially watching, like, it was, okay, I just have to talk about it. The last scene when Robin dies, and he gets killed by his, like, older clone. And there's this really great scene where I really feel like Morrison spoke to the audience through Damian for a second, and Nightwing and Robin are hiding behind a barrier, and they're having a quick talk, and Damian looks over at Dick and says, "You're the best partner, don't let anyone tell you different."
Yeah.
I
know, it was so good. It was very much Grant Morrison.
I think it was Morrison talking to the audience.
I could have written so much with these two.
Yes.
You know, and like I just love that Damian got that acknowledgement that he was the best Robin.
He was the best Robin.
He's like,
yeah.
You know, you were the best Robin. And it's just like,
And then especially like he looks at him and goes, you know, we should have teamed up more. And then Dick throws like the smoke pellets and goes, that's what I've been saying.
That was so good.
Like, there were years of great Batman stories waiting for us that just, gone.
I know, and it's just, man, like, New 52, like, it just seems like it's a really big mess over there. I hear that a lot of writers are leaving. I hear that a lot of artists are leaving. It's crazy. Oh, Galactus.
Galactus just showed up.
Oh, you made it.
You'll see in the promo pictures, guys, don't worry.
So, yeah, I mean, it just seems odd. Like,
Green Arrow is going through, like, its 4th creative team right now.
Yeah, and I heard that Grant Morrison is leaving, obviously, Batman, because I guess he's had his fill and is pissed off.
Right.
But that he might be doing Wonder Woman? He might be doing a Wonder Woman series?
Could he actually?
Where he makes her, like, sexy and shit again? And, like,
are they going to take her back to, like, her S&M roots?
That's what he wants to do.
Holy shit.
And that is a Wonder Woman that I would read. And as everyone knows, I hate Wonder Woman.
I I really wanted to like.
Let's not go there.
Hold on. I really wanted to give I wanted Brian Azzarello's run to really succeed, and it's who can have a new take on Wonder Woman.
Well, I mean, I've heard good things about his series. I haven't personally read it. I should read it. I know I need to give it a fair day in court.
Right.
But at the same time, from what I've heard about it, I'm just still not interested, But it's like when I hear Grant Morrison's going to be writing Wonder Woman and he's going to take her back to her S&M roots, then I'm like, now I'm on board.
Yeah, especially will DC let him do it? Because I feel like despite like that first year when DC wanted to do like really shocking moments in comics, and like the first like few issues of like even Animal Man and Swamp Thing like had some pretty gnarly, shocking scenes in it.
Oh yeah.
That things kind of got a little vanilla after that. Like after about 6, 7, 8 months.
They did. They really did, and that's such a shame because they had such a good start.
Yeah.
Man, they were crushing Marvel.
I was spending all my money on DC.
Dude,
I really
it was crazy. And then it's just fumble after fumble, man. It's like
I feel like
not everything's like completely ruined, but I mean, I don't know. It's I feel bad.
But like I said, I
want to see him do good.
But I think this goes back to like I think Morrison had a plan, and then someone decided to press the reset button on DC Comics.
Yeah.
And now the plan had to get augmented and I feel like DC needs to listen to their own slogan from Animal Man and evolve or die. Yeah.
Like, things are different now. Like, you guys have got to, like, get it together and get some young blood in there or something. Someone to shake it up. Somebody who's got different ideas.
This has gone there. We're going there. Here's the thing about DC that I'm having a frustrating thing with, and I'm kind of glad that the Morrison conversation's opening this up.
Yeah.
Is that we are watching at Marvel. We're watching characters that we know and we love grow up, evolve, go places, almost in a natural, organic place, because I think as a normal person would be forced into these certain situations and to make choices that you wouldn't necessarily agree with. And it's working. It's
worked so well. And, like, I mean, think about it, too. I mean, it's like, over the past 10 years, like, both Wolverine and Cyclops have changed a lot. A lot. And, like, I'm eating it up.
Yeah.
Like, I'm all for it. And I would love to see that happening at DC.
And I love the fact that, like, I'm kind of got off subject, but that Cyclops doesn't view himself as a terrorist or a bad guy, which always makes for the best bad guy.
Yes.
It really does.
My favorite bad guy is the bad guy who doesn't realize he's the bad guy. I love it.
But as we're watching in both Bendis' X-Men titles, is that every time Scott gets confronted with, like, you killed Xavier, he's like, hold on, did I really kill Xavier, or did you guys push me to a place where that was the inevitability?
And, like, I don't know, I always side with Scott. I don't know.
It's weird. I am too. I'm kind of rooting for him.
He's kind of got a point, It's like, he's just like, dude, shit's fucked up. We're X-Men. Shit happens, Like, it's...
So, when, like, I watch DC, and, like, this is a conversation I was having with somebody else, and I filled you in on it, but for everybody, my thing with DC is that they really associate a lot of their superheroes with gods. Like, you kind of look at the Flash, and he's Hermes, the messenger, and you've got Superman, and he's Zeus.
Yeah.
And to a certain extent, Batman can almost be looked at as, like, Hades.
Yeah, definitely.
And how the fuck am I supposed to relate to a god?
It's really tough.
I mean, how do you... Yeah, of course people are having a hard time trying to relate with an Athenian, Amazon goddess. Like...
Yeah. Well, and that's something, too, that's like... DC has always stuck by that, and they've done that for so long that now they can't change.
Yeah, I feel like they can't get out of it.
Like, if they had started changing shit up in the 80s or something, and in the 90s, like, and, then, like, I don't think they'd be in this pickle now. But the fact that they haven't, and they've, like, pushed this deity-like thing and these perfection whatever characters, and, like, now that they're stuck, they can't go back.
And, like, even, like, the new DC game. Like, yeah, I would love to play it, but it's called... Injustice, Gods Among Us.
Yeah.
Like,
it's wild and woolly over there, man. And I was, I was getting a little bit of scoop, and I think that the guys over at DC, like, really aren't checking out their competition. I don't think that they're reading Marvel and seeing what's going on with Marvel now and, like, understanding, like, what they're up against.
Right.
And I think that's a huge misstep.
And
know thy enemy, Like,
yeah, and maybe the flip side of the coin is that we are watching DC try to get these new writers in and trying to infuse the new blood, But because of all the properties, and because of all the movies, and because of all the video games, and because of like, well, we need new readers, so we need to keep everything very recognizable for the outside, like non-comic book world. Maybe they've kind of put their writers in a box.
Yeah, and I mean, and that's, and another thing is too, and this kind of goes for Marvel as well, but stop with the fucking crossovers. Jesus Christ. Like, can I please just get a story that doesn't have to get fucked with by a crossover? Like, every now and then it's okay.
Right.
I don't mind one here and there, but like, every time I go to the store, there's some new fucking crossover.
What's the crossover this year called?
Well, okay, there's not like a massive one yet.
Right now, Marvel's doing Age of Ultron.
Well, yeah, there's the Age of Ultron shit, which
I know you're because you don't like dystopian futures. Meanwhile, I love Mad Max, and I love when like things are about ready to like. When
Ultron is so dangerous that he is fighting you from the future.
Right.
Like, fuck you. Like, that's so depressing. I don't want to read that.
Well, and the sense is that I get they're trying to tell this really great story, but it's happening out of time. So that they're not really screwing with Marvel Now stuff.
Yeah.
And I know it's going to wrap up very nicely and neatly at the end, because I really do have a lot of faith in Bendis and Hitch.
Yeah.
But
again, too, it's like it's out of continuity.
But there are crossovers. Like, I'm reading Superior Spider-Man right now, and I'm like, yeah, issue 4, issue 5, all right, this isn't written by Dan Slott, and it's an Age of Ultron tie-in.
I totally got fooled into buying that, and they didn't stop me, and I was mad.
Yeah.
I was a little mad at my comic book shop. I was like, come
on,
guys.
You get like 4 or 5 issues before the crossover starts again.
I know.
Which is, the timing is really bad on that.
And then, Superman has, like, had that Hell on Earth thing.
Hell?
And then there's, like, Thrones of Atlantis, or Atlantis Throne, something going on with that. Then there was all the Bat stuff that was going on,
Like I said, I think it screws with the writers. Like, the writers can't tell a consecutive, like, linear story without having to, like, press the pause button.
Terrible for Tomasi that he can't just tell, a Batman and Robin story.
Which that title was doing so well,
God, I feel so bad for him. I just wish, I didn't even know Batman Incorporated was in the same continuity. Like, they kind of presented it like it wasn't in the same continuity. So when Damian died, I was like, wait, so does that mean
do we get to tell another year of Damian stories and then like have to switch gears, or
what's going on with this? And also, did you read Batman Little Gotham?
No, but you picked it up.
Of course I picked it up. It's Chibi's. Like, I'm totally gonna pick it up. I actually have the guy who draws it and writes it, Nguyen. I have one of his prints signed that I bought from him at of all the Marvel heroes that I bought from him at a convention. So it's like I'm a fan of his little chibis. Like, they're the cutest.
Oh, okay, that's adorable.
I almost actually bought you the 4 Robins one or the 5 Robins one that he did. He did like a little print of all these little chibi Robins. I almost bought that for you, but I ended up giving you the Paolo Rivera thing instead.
Oh, I know, bummer.
I know, right? But yeah, Damian was in it, though. It's like he had all these stories lined up with, like, Damian in them, And the thing that's confusing to me is, like, I'm glad to see these stories, and, like, he's had them, so they're like, oh, I guess we gotta publish them now, whatever. But it's like, this is targeted towards all ages, so this is trying to get children to come read,
which is cool.
Stuff, which is cool, which I'm all for. There should be, titles for all ages readers. But then again, they're putting in a character for children that children are going to automatically relate to that has already been murdered.
Wait, so Damian is in Little Gotham?
Yes.
He's dead.
Yeah.
So when these kids grow up and go, hey, I want to learn more about Damian, then childhood destroyed.
Yeah, it seems like, what if they Google Damian Wayne and then it's like, Damian is dead?
Yeah, and now you've got like the entire spoiler issue of like his grown-up clone brother like butchering him.
But that's the thing too. He is literally only like DC character for children that children can relate to, that little boys can relate to.
Right.
Like, he's the only little boy
about, like,
character.
The father issues and wanting to live up to your dad's expectations, and sometimes
while also being your own person.
Yeah, exactly. God damn it, we could have written Damian so well.
Well, and everyone's like, don't worry, he'll be back. And then part of me is like, I don't even want him back now. Like,
no, because now it's sullied. Now it's like not even.
No, it's all ruined now. Like, and I'm sure that he will be back. Maybe.
Well, when people
I don't know.
say that, when people make that comment whenever someone dies, like, don't worry, he'll be back. They're kind of making a strike against all of comics. They're not really.
Yeah, I know, but it's just like, give me a break. Like, okay, so like
the character's dead in the sense of he's dead right now for us being the readers of the comic. Maybe not out of continuity and that the whole spectrum of things.
It all goes back to the death of Superman thing. Comics, the one thing that was sacred in comics was death. You died,
right?
And then death of Superman happened, and it took away the danger of death.
Right, but I just see that comment all the time by people being.
Well, I think we just need to accept it and get over with. At this point, like, all right, for now.
I get that, but at the same time, it's like, well, I'm still gonna be upset when they kill my fucking favorite character. Okay, I'm not like not eating
because we're
over
not,
it.
yeah,
but I mean,
because we're not
like,
gonna be able to read those stories for a
but
while.
it's like I want to read more Damian. Damian's like one of the biggest reasons I was there for like in the Batman stuff, been reading the Batman stuff.
Mhm.
Like he's the biggest draw for me, and you know, and it's like my whole show is about me getting like having feelings about comics. So it's like, don't tell me not to feel something about
Right.
comics.
Which was the bummer was after we did the Death in the Family show. And this is kind of why we needed the podcast at this point. Was that you guys were doing the final edit when the death happened.
Yes.
Because it really overshadowed Scott Snyder's story.
God, poor guy.
Which also was still superb. You can go watch that episode, but you already know how we feel about it. But it really did overshadow what Scott was doing. And then you had to film a whole segment, which pretty much brought the internet to its knees.
Yeah.
But, like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe we should move on. I'm just going to get angry and punch
All
the
right,
computer in a second.
all right. Well, that's how we feel. Some.
There's a lot of that there, and I hope you guys go back over. And I just we're not trying to dissuade you to not read DC and not say one's better than the other, but it's just my feeling on it.
Yeah, right now DC is kind of dropping the ball a bit, and it's unfortunate because they had such a strong.
No personal things against DC.
No, not at all.
No.
I want
to see DC.
I just only have the first 2 issues of Constantine sitting at my house, and I still am afraid to read them.
I'm terrified
That's
for
all.
you to read them.
All right, so that was
a giant downer.
That was that topic, and let's move on to Saga.
Saga is awesome.
So exciting. Saga is so exciting.
I love Saga. The new issue came out.
Why don't you guys give a Nubler scoop on Saga in case you're not.
Go, Brian K. Vaughan.
Okay, yeah, it's written by Brian K. Vaughan, illustrated by the talented Fiona Staples.
Mm-hmm.
It is the new hot comic, I think, right now. It's the big hot. I think it's the hot one right now.
Well, especially when comic shops are doing one per customer.
Yeah.
So that hawkers aren't putting them on eBay and
you know that it's doing well then.
Yeah.
And it's been going on. This is the second arc just wrapped.
Yep.
And
on an awesome cliffhanger, might I add.
Yes, yeah, that's the thing. They always have good cliffhangers, but it's like frustrating because it's like no, like
BKV's the man at that.
Man, like this is one of those stories though that I can't wait till we have like 4 or 5 volumes and you can sit and read it all at once.
Because the comic itself, each issue reads really easily.
So too easily.
Yeah.
It's like
I don't know if it's like.
I wish it was a bit more dense at times but. Like I said, it'll read better when you have, like, 4 or 5 volumes to read in a row versus, like, getting 1 issue a month. And then it's such a tiny bite of such a big story.
Right.
You know?
And especially, one of the things, like I said, when it reads easily, it happens in space, in a different galaxy, in a different universe.
Mm-hmm.
And I haven't seen an actual, like, humanoid yet, but everyone's, like, human-like, and there's all these different races.
You definitely don't know what to expect, though.
No, but how easy is it to relate to these new characters?
Oh, yeah. Very relevant.
Yeah.
Very relevant. Very, like, now. Like, the way they talk, the way they dress, you know. Like, this whole comic just smacks of right now.
Yeah.
You know, like, when you...
Even though it's happening light years away.
Yeah, but it's just, I don't know, this it's one of those things where it's just, like, it's just right place, the right time, and it's hitting, and the story's just... It's perfect for...
One of the other things, I don't know, maybe I'm just, like, reading into it too much because, like, maybe I want there to be a conspiracy and I want there to be red herrings. But each title that comes out, for whatever reason, Fiona picks, like, the perfect color schemes.
God! Aren't they?
To relate, like, a certain emotion or feeling every issue.
And those covers!
And they're amazing! And so I really, like... I'm like going through like conspiracy like websites like, wait, so what does the purple and gray totally represent in this issue? Like, I mean,
and
it's a beautiful title.
You never know, man. She could be, you know, like that's a valid question.
Maybe.
You know, I mean, but a lot of artists do. I mean, some artists do that stuff consciously,
right?
But some artists do it unconsciously, even though it does mean something, but they don't even realize they're doing it until later. You know, which I think is even more interesting. You know, as an artist, my artist perspective.
There you go. So maybe it is like an unconscious, like
it could be either way. You know, I'd be interested to ask her. You know, maybe one day we can ask these sorts of people these questions.
And Brian K. Vaughan, please go back. He did Why the Last Man.
Mm-hmm. Hugely popular.
Which was huge, and I know that keeps bouncing around in Hollywood. And
Shia LaBeouf.
But I'm pretty sure he's already shot. Shia has shot himself in the foot right now.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to be playing.
I just went into celebrity gossip. I love it.
I know. Well, don't get me started. We could do a whole segment on it.
Yeah, we could. But BKV is awesome. He did Why the Last Man. Please go. It's in volume, so it's definitely worth your time.
Yeah.
What else? The title says it all. Saga.
Yeah.
And I don't know where it's going yet, but I love the fact that it's also written from one of the characters is a newborn child.
Yeah.
But it's all being narrated
Yeah.
by the newborn child.
From the future when they're grown up
Yeah.
to some age that we're not sure of.
It's pretty much a way cooler version of How I Met Your Mother.
Yeah, actually, I didn't even think about that. That's pretty crafty. Yeah, now I heard that the 12th... Okay, so I did a little bit of research on this. The 12th issue of Saga was supposedly banned by iTunes, maybe because some sort of gay pornographic things, maybe not, I don't know. But Comixology said that iTunes wouldn't be carrying it, and then everyone got on board. There was this huge backlash. Everyone was like, no censorship, fuck you.
And BKV even put out a little, statement?
Yeah, saying, like, fuck you, like, we're not going to change shit, and, like, all this. And, like, I
Which, by the way, the
applaud.
title is very adult. I forgot. We should really mention that.
Oh, yeah, it's
very adult.
It's very adult.
It's
There's
mature.
a lot of adult content. But it's not, like, it's not porn, though, you know, it's just like, this is just what happens in the world, you know, it's presented as very casually, which, you know, is really well done.
Dudes have sex with dudes, get over it.
Like, whatever, you know, it happens. When you're dying and you think you're dying and you have a robot TV head, sometimes these thoughts of, you know, gay gangbangs come into your head and they're on your TV screen and you can't help it. I was thinking about that.
That's relevant, by the way.
That would suck, though, if you had a TV head and anything you're thinking about, like, pops up on your TV screen ad. Like, that would suck. Like, I would get, like, busted all the time for
I feel the
stuff.
same way, like, thank God, like, thought bubbles don't appear over my head all the time.
Definitely.
That would just...
I feel like I'm
that would
terrible
ruin my
at that
Saturday night
anyways.
date. Like, no, never mind. She knows exactly what I'm thinking. All right, I'm out of here.
I'll see you later. Maybe not. But... yeah, so then, so everybody jumped on board and everyone was like, oh, fuck you guys. And then Comixology goes back and says that, oh, it wasn't Apple, it was us, which they could be doing that for two reasons. One of them being that, you know, maybe they're protecting Apple, you know, whatever, because Apple's and them, they have a thing going, and, you know, whatever, you gotta protect your parent company or whatever, okay.
The whole thing smells fishy, right?
It's weird.
It does. It seems like there's a lot of... I'm glad you said it. It seems like there's a lot of tracking. Like, oh, no.
Lot of
we didn't mean
ins,
that.
lot of outs, lot of ins, lot of outs.
Sounds like something the Hasbro company would come up with.
I know, it's really weird. It's really weird. So, you know, and I still haven't really found out what the exact scoop is, because then they were saying, well, it wasn't because of pornographic images and brand damaging, like damaging their brand and stuff, and it's just like... For
the erotic images? I
guess, for selling his erotic comics.
You're telling me that PayPal has never facilitated a Playboy subscription in their life?
I'm not sure. I am telling you, though, that PayPal, which is essentially a bank,
right,
which means that they are essentially all evil, is saying that their evil brand is being damaged by selling erotic comics. That's crazy. Like, that is crazy. And he joined the comic book Legal Defense Fund.
Okay.
Which is awesome. They go around, like, protecting comic book artists who are getting screwed over by the man. So that's good.
And banks.
And it's just, like, that's crazy to me. Like, that is really disappointing to hear. But I really hope that everything works out well for him, because that's just, like, get out of here, you know?
That's...
I just don't understand why. And I even had people commenting one time on my Empowered video. This one guy said, drawing girls like this is disgusting and stuff like that. And it's like, dude, you watch porn. Like, you jack it to porn. And, like, that's somebody's actual daughter. Like, that's somebody's real daughter. And that's okay to you. But a guy drawing a hot, sexy girl,
and
like, having sex.
And by the way, because it's Empowered, especially the fact talking about her insecurities because of...
Right.
What the suit is, and that it's like a membrane that's skin tight, and that was like a...
And that's sick.
Yeah.
That's sick.
Like that pervert.
Like that pervo that's drawn... Like, why is drawing titties, like so awful to some people? Like, why are they just so, like, terrified by it?
I knew guys in school that just draw penises on everything.
Like
and they were cool with it.
Like, I remember when I was a kid, it was like the ultimate thing to draw a naked person. You're like, yeah. Like, don't tell anybody. You have to, like, throw it away afterwards and stuff. It was, like, really, like, thrilling.
Yep.
But yeah, I just don't get, I don't know. I don't get people's problems with, pornographic drawings. I don't get it. I just...
Because they view it as pornographic. That's the point.
Yeah, I mean, it is, but then again, everyone turns a blind eye to actual porn.
How about those people that are saying that Game of Thrones, that they don't watch it because it's just
Oh
pornography?
my gosh,
I am watching it because of the nudity.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I was at WonderCon and I was talking to this girl and she was telling me that she just thought it was just porn and she wouldn't watch it and she was just so disgusted by it. She was just like, it's just porn. Like the way she said porn, It was like you could tell she had like a problem.
I just don't know how this day and age you can be that prude.
I don't know either.
Well, especially because you have access to it everywhere. I mean, I can pick up my phone and like, hey, I just really want to watch someone's daughter get railed right now.
Yeah.
Like
right now.
Right now.
Can we rephrase what porn is?
Okay, I did that to
guys
make a
gross.
point.
Guys are gross.
To make a point, and guys are gross. But
you guys all know you're gross. It's fine.
But you see, but you're right. Like to be that prude right now is like
right. And I feel like.
And by the way, you're at Comic-Con. Like you are totally admiring like the sexy cosplay girls and all the effort they put into like their fandom to make that costume. But you're like, but I don't like porn.
It's
porn.
So weird. America in general has a lot of weird hang-ups with sex, where it's like advertising is constantly shoving sex down your throat, and that's okay.
Right.
But then, showing a dick, is like, oh God.
Remember like how
crazy.
much shock that David Fincher got back by showing like that one single cell dick during the scene of Fight Club?
That's all you heard about, man. Back then it was like, oh man.
There was full frontal nudity, and the scene comes on, and you're actually kind of laughing, like, oh, that was kind of funny.
Yeah, it's just crazy, like our stance on sex, and it's really messed up. We're a messed up country on that one. Like Europe kind of has a better idea about how things are, where it's just like sex is just a part of life over there, and like it's in comics because comics are about anything. They're about life, and like.
Right. Well, let's not get too much into that discussion.
Anyways,
but at the same point, it all comes back around to, and we do have to wrap it up. But that Saga.
Yeah.
Saga's like, hey, people have sex, and here's a scene of it.
And it's in here.
And after that, they're gonna get in a fight.
Yeah, and it's like.
Yeah, I mean.
I don't know.
I wanted to say though about Game of Thrones.
Mm-hmm.
Is if you have a problem with that, that's the reason it's in there is because Game of Thrones is trying to be as real to life as possible.
Yeah.
So they're showing what happens in real life and sex.
Yeah, and I mean there is sex in the books. I mean it's not like super detailed or anything, but I mean there is sex in the books. Like it is. I just
can't wait until the sex with the dragons happens.
Can't wait to see what happens.
Maybe I spoiled something.
A little bit of melty flesh and
there's your segue
into
the next topic. Which is what? Twitter questions.
Oh, let's do Twitter questions.
Let's see what you guys want to hear about.
Let's get on this Twitter.
Let's throw on the Twitter. Everyone is like reaching for... Oh, wait, let me turn off my porn really quickly so I'm on the Twitter.
How dare you? How dare you bring porn into my house?
Let's see. I've got one here.
Okay.
Writer Sean Noel.
What did he say?
What do you think would be a great way to expose people to comics or get more readers?
Well...
Watch this show.
How about Comic Book Girl 19?
Yeah, that's one. But I do feel like the movies, the huge...
Movies will hook you.
The movies are hooking people. I mean, not everyone is going to go read a comic or whatever for watching the movie, but still...
movies should be hooking more people.
Well, comics are always going to be somewhat esoteric, and I kind of hope that they're never mainstream like
esoteric. What?
But
it's it's one of those things where it's like you got to earn your cred to be to go to the comic book shop, and like you have your weird friends that talk about it, and it's this whole little culture, and
especially we want people to get excited about comics.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of like the big point of everything here.
Yeah.
But I know for me, it was that I like to carry doubles of some of my favorite stuff. Like after I made the decision that I'm not a comic book collector anymore, I'm a comic book reader.
Yes.
Like my whole
my
thinking kind of changed. And so it would just be like me handing my friends like, hey, here's 12 issues of Batman that Jim Lee and Jeff Loeb did. Just read them. Oh, well, dude, how you want me to be really careful with these? No, dude, just read them.
Yeah.
Pass them on.
That was it. Like I would just hand them over to somebody.
Yeah.
I like what I heard Kevin Smith say about that whole issue. He's like, I don't fetishize comics.
Yeah.
Like, I actually read them and crumple them up, throw them in the corner, and I pick them up and read them again.
Yeah, exactly. And so I would like, I've got my copy of Watchmen, and then I have a loaner copy. Mm-hmm. I have a, Dark Knight Returns.
So you're doing mine. Both. You have a fetish copy.
I have a fetish copy.
And a copy you read.
So I keep my dirty little secret at home, and then to be cool, I just hand it around to other people so that no one really knows the truth.
Yeah.
But like I definitely just... If the person asks you a question about comics, hold on, dude, let me go to my room really quickly and grab something for you.
Yeah.
That's the best way to get people into comics.
That's definitely like a very important role, as a comic book reader, is to push it onto your friends.
Yeah, totally. Because I had, especially when Watchmen happened, I got like an old job it was at, about 2 or 3 of the guys were just like, what's the deal? And when I had to take them to a comic shop, one of the guys looked at me and went, dude, I feel like we just walked into a porn store. Because there is a stigma. Like, there is kind of weird, scary, you walk into a shop and now everyone's staring at you, but really, it's a safe place. And everyone's there for the same reason. So it's okay to get excited because these people want to talk.
Right, yeah, I think some comic stores have that problem where they seem like porn basements.
You gotta find the right store.
Yeah.
And that's hard.
Totally.
I mean, and, it depends on where you live, too. I'm lucky enough to live in, LA to where I have an option. Like, there's not just one store and that's the only one you had to go to, you know? But... what were we talking about? Damn it.
Oh, no. Great way to get people into comics. Expose them, more readers.
Yeah, definitely. Like,
and then we got back onto porn dens.
Yeah, I know. Getting excited about it, telling your friends about it, word of mouth. You know, that's been, like, the big thing, Cartoons obviously help, so does the movies and everything, and hopefully we're helping, a little bit.
That, like I said, the whole point, get excited.
Yeah. Dude, when I was in 7th grade, I went on this band trip or whatever, and, like, don't tell anybody. And I was totally passing around my Johnny the Homicidal Maniac comics to, like, everyone on the bus. It was like, check these out. Like, I was totally
I hope kids
like
today
doing
have that. They have that, like, where you can get excited and share a comic. Like, look at this. Look at this.
Because, like,
that was so much fun.
Especially when, like, anything by Jonah at that point.
Oh, yeah.
It was, like, especially, it was so bad to have Johnny in your backpack.
I got so busted on that.
I'm pretty sure we're going to have to talk about Johnny the Homicidal Maniac.
We will. We'll have a whole discussion about it. We will have a whole discussion. It's a milestone comic for me personally.
So what else do we have?
More questions. This one's for you.
Uh-oh.
I mean, it's for us, I guess, but I want you to go off on this.
Okay.
Do you like Doctor Who?
Oh, hell yes. Actually, I'm kind of like a little hungover and tired right now because I went home after work last night and stayed up until 6 a.m. to watch the new episode.
Yeah, Kirk is our resident Doctor Who guy.
Yeah, I'm...
So you get home from work at 3 a.m.?
Probably 4 a.m. in the morning.
4 a.m.
And then had to, take care of the dog, cue everything up, and then I totally make a snack and I sit down and I watch Doctor Who. And I was excited because David Warner was on the episode last night. And if you guys don't know him, he was the bad guy from Time Bandits, and he was originally Sark and Dillinger in the first Tron film. So it was like and he played a really fun character last night, but I am mad about Doctor Who. I am mad about it. And I am one of those people who hopped on the bandwagon probably right towards midway through David's tenure as Doctor. Mm-hmm. So I definitely had to go back and learn about Christopher Eccleston. And now I'm so obsessed that now the new enemy is the Great Intelligence. And I was doing my research. And now I know that he's actually a really, really old enemy from back in the 60s.
That's so cool.
And I'm now going back through Tom Baker Doctor series, and I'm learning everything I can about the Great Intelligence. I'm a huge Doctor Who fan. And Clara, the actress, is totally my new crush right now. I love her. Yeah. She's just, ugh.
Yeah, I
love her.
I always wanted to be into Doctor Who, and for some reason, I just can't do it, and I don't know why.
Because it's daunting. It seems like there's an awful lot there. But the best thing you can do is just start with when the series started up back in 2005 with Christopher Eccleston. And then I tell you, you'll be taking down a season a day. You'll ruin all your relationships. You'll stop going to work. Your animals might start starving.
Oh my gosh!
I love Doctor Who.
It's a big thing, man. It's huge right now.
It's huge.
It's huge right now.
And the 50th anniversary is going to happen soon, and they're totally... David's coming back.
That's good.
Billy's coming back. Oh.
It's going to be awesome.
All right.
So, Daniel, there you go. There's our...
We'll talk more about that.
Oh, yeah.
Our first podcast, don't worry.
Oh, yeah.
You're eventually going to start watching Doctor Who at some point.
I mean,
It's inevitable.
Well, I mean, I keep trying, but it's I get really hooked in the first act.
Right.
And I get hooked in the second act. I'm like, well, the first one's always this weird shit's going on. You're like, what is this weird shit going on?
Right.
And then the middle one's they're trying to figure it out. Right. And at the end, I just never quite understand how they get from A to B. Where it's here's the problem, and then this is how it's resolved. I'm always like, wait, what? Did I miss something? Am I stupid? What did I do?
He's just the Doctor. That's all you need to know.
I know. I guess I should stop being so American in my spell it out for me.
Yeah, no, it's because it is BBC, and it's, oh, God. Just take my hand and run and enjoy it.
Moving
Yeah.
on.
Okay.
Next Twitter question.
Next Twitter question. Let me actually find a question from Twitter. I was looking at the Facebook.
Ooh.
I know.
Twitter and Facebook.
I know. We got them both going. It's
We're double fisting our questions.
We're double fisting our social media right now.
That's hot. Let's see here.
Let's see.
I mean, that's kind of this Alonzo's question is kind of interesting.
What does Alonzo have to say?
He's asking about our thoughts on the new Image books, specifically 5 Ghosts, East of West, 10 Grand, etc.
Have you read them?
I have read 5 Ghosts, and I have also read East of West.
I was just looking at East of West in your living room. I did not realize it was Hickman. I'm totally gonna have to pick it up.
Yeah, you're gonna have to borrow it.
Yeah.
I have not done the 10 Grand thing yet. Is that out yet?
I don't know.
Because we were just talking about it in the kitchen when we were eating like little pizzas or
pizzas and pierogies.
Yeah.
So is it good?
Yes, I really, really enjoyed East of West. I thought that this could be something that's really fun that I'm really looking forward to, seeing where it goes. I mean, again, it is Hickman, so it's like it might get really slow or something.
Could be a slow burn with an awesome ending.
I don't know, but I'm willing to pick up the second issue. So yeah, I picked up 5 Ghosts, Haunting of Fabian Gray. I enjoyed it. I feel like it could have been a little bit better. I wasn't hooked necessarily, but I really like the concept behind it.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to continue to read it. Some of the artwork was really cool in it. I enjoyed it.
I mean,
Images, man. I mean, like
creator owned. They put the faith behind, like, you know, the guys that bring the stories and the ideas to them. I'm loving Image right now.
Yeah.
Especially for me, I'm a Luther Strode reader.
Oh yeah.
Well, not even like a Luther Strode reader. It's just much as just flipping the pages and drooling over like the amazing art.
Dude,
But
I know. Like that guy is like so good. Like oh my god, like the way he draws Luther Strode is just fantastic. It's just as a woman,
Yeah.
I like looking at his drawings of Luther Strode. Like I think they're very graceful, they're very powerful, they're very beautiful, they're very haunting. Like it's just fantastic.
The other thing for me, especially Luther Strode, is very much it's an ode to Flex Mentallo.
Oh yeah,
kind of.
Yeah, and it doesn't like rip it off.
No, it doesn't rip it off.
Takes it in such a great,
but it feels like
way.
a love letter to to like that whole idea.
And I love love letters.
And Luther Strode's muscles.
Oh man, that one's. We're definitely gonna do like a whole episode on Luther Strode after this arc. Too. After this arc wraps, we actually filmed a bunch of stuff earlier for it, but then
we have a whole mystery episode.
We do, but our timing was all mixed up, and we ended up having to do something else all of a sudden, and all this crap. So
Spoilers.
Maybe we can afford an extra editor one day.
I know.
We can edit all those back episodes that we've got logged.
Yeah.
So next Twitter question.
Let's see here. Let's go back to the Facebook.
Let's go.
Oh, you know what? I've got a question.
You have one.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
I have a Twitter question.
All right.
I haven't put it in Twitter yet.
Did you tweet it?
No.
Well then.
No, screw you. I'm just going to tell you.
Well, first you have to put it in the Twitter, and then we'll read it.
This is slightly related to what you guys were just talking about. So how many issues, when you pick up a brand new comic series, all right, how many issues do you give it as a chance before you give up on it or continue reading?
That's a good question.
That's really good. From typically 6. I wait for I take that back. First arc. The first story arc is where I'll go with it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Even if it completely stinks on the first issue, or you shouldn't really judge just from the first issue, should you? I don't know.
Oh man, like let's put it this way: it has to be really, really, really bad.
Mm-hmm.
Like it has to bomb really hard for me to kind of go like, oh, that's not going to happen for issue 2 and 3.
Well, I mean, I just got screwed over. I started reading the Animal Man Swamp Thing, New 52, and I was like, this is so good.
Did.
And then you dropped out.
I did.
You dropped out, and then I was so invested in it already that I was like, you know what? Even though I'm pissed and I don't want to buy these anymore, and I don't think this is going anywhere that I want to read, I still kept buying them just to see it through. But that's very rare. Like I don't really do that. But I was already just so invested.
That
in it.
Animal Man started off so powerful.
Man, both of them did.
Yeah, and
damn it.
I mean, I was excited to start reading Swamp Thing again, and those are characters. If it doesn't have the Vertigo label, I freak out.
Yeah.
And those are Vertigo characters.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, I've got the first 2 issues of Constantine sitting at home right now, and I'm afraid to read them.
I know. I don't know. It's
yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. It depends. It really depends. I kind of feel it out. I feel it out. And like I said, the Cyberforce, like I tried Cyberforce. I got the first issue and the second issue, and I was just like, this is so terrible.
It wasn't the first issue
Let's
also
just say
crowdfunded?
It was not for you.
It was not for me.
Okay.
I was really highly disappointed, especially after I had just started reading Glory, which was a really good reboot.
Yeah.
Which was a really good reboot. And like, fuck you. Like, and I was like so looking forward. I was like, man, maybe they're gonna do something. I just had this faith that's like, maybe this is gonna be awesome too. And then it wasn't. And I was like, Glory really is a special animal. You know? Like,
no, it's a different kind of beast. But I'm really glad that they did see that whole series all the way through.
Okay, next Twitter question.
I have a good
how
about Caleb asks, I hope I said that wrong, and no, I didn't. Do you think after 100 years from now, people will still be reading comics?
Yes.
100%. I can't imagine.
I don't think stories with pictures will ever go away. Those were our first stories.
Yeah, that's like a question, will people stop drawing?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, it's like...
Yeah.
Which I think is still a good question because it is one for the ages. But, like, I mean, going back to hieroglyphics and, you know, things like that.
Yeah.
Like, we still tell stories through pictures and...
Especially when we have that, you know, collapsed society, and that'll be the only way to tell a story, probably.
Well, the thing is now, too, I mean, with things, with technologies going the way they're going, it's so much easier to self-publish. It's so much easier. I mean, especially, you know, through the Kickstarter.
Look at this podcast we're doing right now.
Yeah,
this podcast is happening in a bedroom with...
And it is its own medium. I don't think people really realize that comics is a medium that is here to stay. And it's its own thing. It's like a movie. It's like, are movies gonna be made in 100 years? It's like, of course. Like, and if they're not, like, I don't want to be a part. I'm glad that I'm dead. You know, if it's not even around anymore.
We'll always get new media, but is there any media that's ever gone away completely? I don't know. Maybe cave drawings are not as popular as they used to be, but
there's still probably some asshole out there doing cave drawings, making $1 billion off of it. You know, like.
And you know what the first cave drawings had? Penises. We all know this. So the porn.
That's why I stopped reading cave drawings because
they actually got too mainstream.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's such a powerful thing. And the thing that is so great about comics, too, that people tend not to realize, and it's like, you can do it on your own. One person, you can do everything on your own, and you don't have to depend on anyone else. And the freedom that brings.
Look at Saga. Saga is 2 people.
Yeah.
I know we forgot to mention that when we were talking about it. Saga is 2 people.
That's great.
It is the writer and the artist. And that's why they take like 3-4 months off in between like story arcs.
And
but
they deserve it.
But they do it.
I think that's a great way to do it.
Okay, I really like this one. I'm sorry.
Next Twitter question.
Mark says, Bigfoot versus Chewbacca.
I'm going to go with Chewbacca. But first he has
Chewbacca's really strong,
first he has to find Bigfoot, and Bigfoot is the ultimate hide and go seek winner.
Which Bigfoot are we talking about? Are we talking about Henry and the Hendersons, or?
I don't.
No, I don't want to see Henry and the Hendersons Bigfoot
Harry and the Hendersons.
Harry. I don't want to see Harry get killed by Chewbacca. That's just sad.
That would not be a fun fight.
In fact, I'm actually kind of tearing up on it right now. That's a really
that would just be a sad matchup. You're right.
I feel like Chewbacca would just be like this, like really mean older brother, like holding him like headlocks and giving him noogies and just like being really, really mean to him.
Yeah. My immediate thought was that scene in Splice where the two.
The 2 slugs are like,
they
and
look
then
all
they
cute.
eat each
Like,
other.
look, we created life forms, and they just violently kill each other.
Yeah. Well, it's like Chewbacca can like shoot a gun. So I mean, anytime you can shoot a gun and communicate, you know, with humans and stuff, it seems like you have a pretty good edge. But
I think
unless Bigfoot got the drop on him and he wasn't aware.
Like I said, like unless it's like we're talking like Marvel team up where it's like Wolverine versus Hercules, and in the end after they've done this giant throwdown fight and they've destroyed the bar that they were in the argument in, just at the end are drinking beers together. I see that happening with Chewbacca and Bigfoot.
Yeah.
Like in the end they're like, dude, what are we really fighting about? Like, let's just go get a beer.
They would high five it.
So they'd become friends.
Yeah.
All right. Sounds good.
All right, so that was it.
That's it.
Our first episode.
Beta.
Kind of. Beta episode.
Yay.
And then we'll have an official episode 1 come out after this.
Yes.
But this was fun.
Yeah, thanks for listening, guys.
We didn't totally screw this up.
And we're going to be here next week talking about
more stuff.
Comics and movies and stuff.
And things.
Anything to think about.
Just gonna not talk about Halle Berry.
Whatever we're feeling.
Whatever. Alrighty, guys. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.